I'll call to order the Tuesday, July 30th St. Croix EMS Regular Commission meeting. Discussion and possible action on the minutes of July 11th, 2019 Regular EMS Commission meeting. You guys get a chance to take a look?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'd be happy to second.
And motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Financial report. Allison.
Hey.
Hi. Did you prepare something today?
No, I was here,
Got it. Did you guys get a chance to take a look at the statement of cash flow? Any questions around that? I didn't really have any specific questions.
No
Tom
questions.
or Stan?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I don't know that that needs a formal motion, does it? To accept the
No.
financial report?
Just
No.
post them, or
All right. Okay, update on transition of St. Croix EMS to Lakeview EMS. I guess the number one topic there's an update to a date that was presented at the most recent public safety meeting, right? And that date is September 9th as a transition date. I don't know that the time,
6 a.m.
did we, that's right, we talked about 6 a.m. because that's the clean break from the shift.
Yep. That's
Gotcha.
our end start time, so.
Gotcha. We also just started talking a little bit about space needs in that meeting, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm looking at you, Josh, but that still needs more discussion, I believe.
Yeah, I think that was something that the city attorney in the city and health partners attorneys have to come up to an agreement as far as leasing space from the city here
Right,
at City Hall, so, and across the street. So,
right. But in terms of actually utilizing that space, we did also have conversation about that there would be a window of time from the last date of service from St. Croix EMS to Lakeview utilizing that space, like a 24-hour, 48-hour period.
yeah, there's some time frame that hasn't been decided on yet, but
Right. Any other pieces on the transition? We started talking about
started talking about
first responders.
first responder service into the city. It's still kind of a work in progress on that, trying to figure out, what the city wants to see, what they want as far as a group. And to just, pretty much have to rewrite operational plan and stuff to include the city in the current license that we have with North Hudson and Town of Hudson. So it's just updating all the paperwork through the state and updating the license.
One thing that would be good to probably cover here is John Muller had mentioned this idea of potentially doing one first responder group that basically covers all of North Hudson, covers the coverage area.
We'll cover the service area, I
Service
guess.
area.
But it's up to the individual municipalities if they want to.
How they
Because
would
they
staff
have, they have to sign off on it. So Stan from North Hudson will have to sign off on the operational plan, and then the Town of Hudson and Troy, and then the city. So,
So that would be something that we should be, I'm wondering if we should be covering this. I guess we would just update in the next EMS commission meeting, which we probably should do a little bit more often. To kind of cover those details.
So, all that entails is pretty much just updating the current operational plan that's out there, and then changing the person that's going to lead it, so to speak, or be in charge of it on this side of the river, who's in direct contact with the city, and then North Hudson and Troy, and Town of Hudson, so.
Right. And some decision points that we're making there, at least on the city end, is this a paid position? Is this a pay per call, or is this completely volunteer? So as we talk about one service for coverage area, I guess that's when it would make sense for us to talk about that. In this,
Yeah, no, I've
in the
got,
sense of this
John's
meeting.
gonna be at our meeting on our board meeting on Tuesday, to give us an overview of proposals and stuff like that for village, whether, contract, no contract type of thing, and, we'll get some more information then from, or what Lakeview's, their vision and stuff for
Gotcha.
the village.
We also did have a conversation from the council just to make sure that we are doing our due diligence on the EMS commission. What are we remaining with what we have been charged with? And that is exactly what we moved to do at that council meeting unanimously.
Just to continue as
To
it
continue as how we were set up, so.
works for me.
Any other questions, thoughts? Am I missing anything from that public safety meeting, Josh?
No, I don't think so. Not that I can think of right now, at least. It's just the first responders, their transition date,
Right.
space needs. I don't think so.
Are there any communication of, any pending communications to the community or anything on these dates and things, or is it just,
I sent an email out after the public safety meeting notifying North Hudson, Warren Township, Troy Township, their board member, their president, chairs, that, our transition date is September 9th. I communicated with all the other area EMS chiefs on our transition date. As far as something publicly out to the community, nothing's been done so far. So, just kind of wanted to make sure that that date was gonna be the date for sure. So, I haven't seen anything official from Lakeview yet saying that, this is the date and time. So, we just got it in a public safety meeting from what John said, but I haven't seen anything. I don't know if the city's got anything
Gotcha.
official or.
I'll reach out to Lakeview, because that's a good point. Something in writing that this is now the transition date, or an amendment to the contract potentially.
Correct.
So, but in terms of getting that out in public purview, that's another good point, sending a letter to the newspaper outlets or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a protocol to follow or not, but I just thought it might be a good idea to cover our bases. So.
Right. But thank you for reaching out to the other townships.
Yeah, I notified dispatch and the sheriff's department, so they're aware of the change. So
Perfect.
North Hudson, I think I sent Chief
Yeah,
Richard.
Terry sent out a letter, or an email to everybody to say, hey, we need a letter to, for their file that we're,
Switching.
we're on board and switching over.
Yeah, okay. But I hit, the sheriff, North Hudson Police Chief, I sent one to Scott for the fire department, and I sent one to Chief Willems as well, just letting them know them know of the date, so.
Gotcha. Thank you. Like I said, I'll reach out to Lakeview and see if we can't get that either amendment to the contract or a letter of date for the transition out there. Anything else on transition? Any other questions, thoughts? All right. Moving on to ambulance statistics. I didn't see anything in the packet. There wasn't anything, correct?
Well, we were up through June last year, and we're
Oh,
still in
that's right.
July, so,
Right,
at the last meeting, yeah.
right.
So, yeah.
That's right. These more frequent
Yeah, monthly,
meetings
so, yes.
throw me off a little bit. Okay. So Operation Supervisors Report. Josh?
Well, not much, because we're almost done with the month, but I've had 117 calls so far this month.
I'm sorry, did you say 117?
117, yes.
Gotcha.
So one of them was, there's one transfer we did, 9 fire calls, canceled on 6 calls. But at least this month seems to come in groups. You get them all at once, and then you get a couple slow days, but that's it. I provided you with August schedule,
Yeah, thank you for that.
so August seems to fill up pretty good. We have some questionable stuff this weekend as far as being short a medic Friday night and Sunday day. So I sent out shift requests for someone to pick that up, so we'll have to see what happens as we get into the day tomorrow and go from there.
And which shifts are you talking about? You're talking about the second and the,
I'm talking the 2nd and the 2nd and the 4th. We're short a medic during the day on the 4th, and we're short a medic.
gotcha. Looks like Saturday was cut off on this printout, for me anyway.
Oh, yeah, it is. I didn't even see that. Saturday, I believe we're good. But Friday day, need a medic, and then Sunday day,
Okay.
so.
Sundays look, at least on the 18th and 25th, am I reading that incorrect? They look a little bit light, right?
Yeah, but you gotta remember, we're also,
2 weeks from now, or whatever.
yeah, we're still obviously in July. I
Right,
think there's, I don't know, 10 pending signups so far for August yet in our scheduling software. They just haven't been approved yet, so,
oh, so people have signed up, and it's just pending approval.
right. So,
Okay,
contacted by Pepperfest today to staff Pepperfest on the 16th, 17th, and 18th. So I'm gonna work on that. What's that?
Yeah, 16, 17, and 18.
Yep. So he contacted me this afternoon and asked me for staff, a staff member to staff that. I said, under the circumstances, I'll do the best that I can. Obviously, my priority is staffing trucks right now. And I let him know that if I can't get people to staff it, I'll reach out to John Muller and see if he can provide a medical person to staff those hours on those days, so.
is that the same weekend as Lumberjack? I know that
No, Lumberjack Days was 2 weekends ago, or last weekend.
last weekend. Got it,
No, weekend before was Lumberjack Days, so.
gotcha. So is that a dedicated
That's a
ambulance?
dedicated spot there. Supposedly, the guy that talked to me today said that they have to have a EMS person there, so. I don't know if it's something with North Hudson's insurance company or Pepperfest Insurance or something, I don't know, with the amount of people that are there, so. I said I'd do my best to get covered what I could get covered. If not, I would reach out to Lakeview and,
Have to be paramedic?
no,
Oh, so it's just EMT? I'm
be
not sure,
anything,
but-
EMT or first responder, somebody that's medically trained,
Got it.
Bee stings have been one of the biggest things,
yeah.
bee reactions and stuff
Oh.
like that, with food or whatever there, so that's been one of the biggest ones. And a lot of times they've had, just a EMT or medic in the hall, and they can stay in there, they don't necessarily have a bus on site and stuff like that, so just for somebody, in case there's a shock or something like that. Heat stress occasionally we have down there, but other than that, no, it's much appreciated. And we're having, we usually have sheriff's department and stuff help out with Pepper Festival too, and they're so short-staffed that, we're having trouble with that too, so, but it'll all come out.
Make sure I get EMS staff up there, whether it's us or Lakeview or a combination of the both, so.
I was gonna say, it might be worth having that conversation with John about, because they have never staffed that event before, right?
Correct.
To kind of keep an eye on it, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Not from a need standpoint, but just from a desire from a
Right.
future standpoint.
They also have their 5K race is Sunday morning, and I know we usually put a truck up there for that, just in case, so. So,
And
Right.
again, as a dedicated,
yeah.
gotcha. Thanks for the schedule, this really helps. I'm wondering with the next iteration of that, could we just float through the 9th?
Float through the 9th? Well, the schedule for September.
Or does that work month to month?
The schedule isn't posted until usually the 20th of the month, but I guess we can go ahead and open that up. Open it, so we can start working on September, the first 9 days, or the last 9 days of it, or whatever, so. Otherwise, we usually don't, availability for the following month isn't due till like the 20th of August, so.
Gotcha.
So we'll start working on that.
If we can change that, I mean,
Yeah.
nothing, it doesn't need to be tomorrow. I just think earlier than the 20th would be good to have visibility on that last 2
I know
weeks.
the 9th, I'm staffed pretty heavy, so
Right.
I know that for sure. There's a lot of people.
Go back to that again. So 9th
The 9th of September.
at 6 a.m.
Wow.
is the cut point?
6 a.m., correct. So Sunday night,
Got it.
Monday morning at 6 a.m.
Right.
On the
Gotcha.
10th. 9th.
Any other questions for Josh, or Josh, do you have
Well, I
anything
think
else?
kudos, so I mean, this, for, short time that you've got, that there is left, to have this schedule, this filled out that's absolutely a great job that you've done, and the staff is to just stay with us. I mean, I'm very impressed, very impressed.
And I'll second that. I mean, when you handed me this, I was very surprised. 'Cause I know it has been difficult.
Yep.
And so,
Hasn't been fun. Kerner is the biggest one, I think, back there for obviously sucking up all the open medic hours and changing her life around and schedule around and
right?
working her tail off to make sure we have medics on, so.
Thank you, Jen.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's day by day, so.
Right.
As we get farther into the month, if I'm sure more people start leaving or getting other jobs or transitioning out, so just have to play it by ear, just watch it and see how it goes, so.
Right. Has there been any major shifts with that,
Not so far.
personnel-wise? Okay.
It's a couple people that are interested in dropping more to casual, but that's a whole different topic, so. Like I said, it's day by day. Just watch it and hopefully we'll make it through it,
Right.
so.
And again, you're trying to keep to that 48 hours out if need be, or,
I'm as close as I can. The
Right.
problem is a lot of people don't know their schedule or, last minute cancellation where, oh, hey, I can work or, so.
right,
I'm trying to stick to it as close as I can, so.
right. Well, and that, I mean, look at that staff meeting that you had a couple weeks back, right? I mean, after that meeting, you all of a sudden staffed up
Yeah,
for what your need was.
Right.
Or very nearly.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Thank you, Josh. Thanks, Jen. Anything else on Operations Supervisor Report? Any questions for Josh, or?
None for me.
no, I know the question came up yesterday about, I know the city's getting contacted about purchasing of equipment, so I'm trying to figure out the legal aspect of that, whether it has to be bidded or not. Everybody that I've talked to says it has to be put out in a bid format. City attorney wants the actual
Language or whatever?
wording on it, or where it states that it has to be done that way.
Gotcha.
So I'm just waiting on that. So
Who do you contact about that?
I contacted one of the other ambulance services here in the county.
Gotcha.
And since we buy stuff through the state bid process that's funded by taxpayer dollars, so there's no way of any municipality doing favoritism or, getting a buddy a good deal. The League of Municipalities states that they want it, bid out on a bid process.
The League, did you say?
Yeah.
League of Municipalities, okay.
That's what I was told. I'm waiting from the email from New Richmond right now.
Got it.
They have it all. I couldn't find it yesterday, so
And you're in contact, obviously, with the city attorney on that piece?
Yep, I talked with her yesterday, and she's the one that called me looking for the information on where I got my information from, but it's something that we've always done here. We've always put equipment and vehicles out for bid,
Unless it's used internally.
unless it stays within the city,
Right.
yes, so,
So I know we do have things earmarked for the fire department and police department, right?
yep.
But, so,
But I know Lakeview's.
and we do have other interested municipalities in equipment as well.
The only one that I know Baldwin's interested in some equipment, and Glenwood City's interested in a truck and some equipment. I know Lakeview's interested in a truck and some equipment. But I haven't really put anything out because obviously didn't know an end date.
Right.
So, I mean, that can start getting, whenever the city says, we can start putting that stuff out and figure out the process. The city just needs to tell me how they want it done, what kind of process they're gonna go through it. If they're just gonna put an ad out and sell it, or if they're gonna put it all out
Put
for
it out on an
auction.
auction site. But first comes the language that you are researching, so thank you for
Correct,
that.
yep. And then there'll have to be open dates for people to come and view the equipment, and
Right.
they'll obviously have to have some of the medical equipment taken and inspected on their own to make sure that it's safe. City attorney will just have to draw up agreements that, it's as-is equipment.
Gotcha.
You buy what you buy.
So hopefully another update at the next meeting about that
We
piece.
should be well into that process by the next meeting, so.
Right. Okay,
That's all I got.
okay. Thank you, Josh. Future agenda items.
Same
Wanna-
agenda.
The same agenda, right? Is there any other pieces that we should be adding? No,
I think I can think of.
yeah, same here.
Too early.
So the next meeting date and time. I know that we received an email from another member from Town of Troy, right? That he can't do anything outside of the hours or inside of the hours of 8 AM to 4 PM. But I don't know that the time outside of those times, I don't know that works for this group.
I mean, earlier in the morning than 8 AM.
Yeah, right.
It's probably not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen, right?
It could, but
So it'd be late afternoon, but I don't know.
Either works fine for me.
Okay.
And do we need to
could
coincide?
he be here at 4, or he couldn't be here till probably 5, I guess.
I mean, what did you think? Was
I
it
would
half
just-
an hour, did he say? Half an hour?
Can't we just reach out to Troy and say, hey, these are the times that the meetings that work for everybody? It's either
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
you either need to provide a representative that can make these, or
Right.
give us a definite time on when the meeting can be made.
Right.
We'll probably have one, possibly two meetings. Is that what you're thinking, between now and the 9th, or
Potentially 3.
potentially? Okay. The other thing is, do we need to coincide our next meeting with any other meetings that are happening with
I think that
council?
would be, I think it would be good to sort of coincide with public safety as we talk about first responders in that group, and updating, especially you, Stan, and Cliff from Town of Troy. So that next the next public safety meeting is August 8th. Next council meeting is on the 5th. So I guess the week of the 12th we would look at.
14th is kind of my best day.
Are you good on Wednesdays, or is it Tuesdays that you have? an
no
issue?
Wednesdays.
No Wednesdays.
Wednesdays, okay. 15th or 6th, 12th and 13th are just not good for me. If you want to go, you said late on Thursday, the 15th, or you said early morning's out, right?
Early morning is out. What do you feel about late afternoon, or do you want to keep it the way it has been?
I would find out what his actual hours are that he can make.
His actual hours are 8 to 4.
That
He has to
works.
be at work.
Yes, so he could be here by 4:30.
Oh, shoot, I'm coming from Osceola that day. I can't.
I'd be fine with 4:30. I mean, and I'm not gonna be here at 6:30 in the morning because.
Yeah,
family
right,
and that
right,
schedule.
I don't think I can make it back by 4:30
On,
on the 15th.
how about any of the other days that week?
14th is good, but you can't on the
But you
14th.
can't, right? Stan can't.
12th and 13th are out.
Okay.
Next week, the 20th. 19th.
All right, so I think we need to meet the week of the 12th, to be honest, with the public safety meeting happening on the 8th. So what works that's not after 4, right? So anytime during the day. On 12th, 13th, or 15th.
13th or 15th are fine with me.
It's gonna have to be the 15th. I am literally booked solid from 7 a.m. till like 8
Okay,
p.m.
so the 15th at what time? I'm flexible.
I'm good all day.
Wouldn't be opposed to doing morning either, like 8:30 or
Oh, no, I'm fine. Anything on Thursday or
8 a.m.?
15th.
Doing 8 a.m. Thursday.
Sure.
let's do it then. 8 a.m. on the 15th? Okay.
I'm on the 15th.
All right, and if you wouldn't mind sending out Joanne a note to Cliff, just saying we tried to accommodate the time. I don't know that there's precedence to have him joined by Skype or phone.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn in a second. Discussion. All those in favor?
I.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.